below the age of 50 years old existence, a franchise quarterback. That's what needs to happen, and that will define the legacy of Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn in their Jets tenure. It will define the fact if they were just another run-of-the-mill two guys that come in here and promise a change of culture and to turn the tide and turn the ship, or another two guys who came in here and just delivered empty promises to us and missed on the quarterback. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the New York Sports Take, episode number 8. I am joined by a very special guest out of Lindenhurst, New York, world-class propane driver, diehard New York sports fan, and a really good friend of mine, Jake Grigo. Jake, we are so excited that you were able to come on, talk a little bit New York sports with us on this fine Thursday, November 13th. How you doing, buddy?
Anytime, man, anytime.
How you doing, man? You doing good?
Doing great. How about you? How's school?
School's been great. Still following the local teams very closely over here and everything. And we have a football game to watch tonight. Believe it or not, fresh off of a 27-20 victory over the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. We got a short week. The Jets are in Foxborough, a place that's haunted them for many, many years. We've seen some bloodbaths from up north in New England, but they come into this one riding a 2-game win streak against the Browns last week at home, first home win of the year, and before that, a shootout against the Cincinnati Bengals came out on top of that one, 39-38. Jake, a lot could be made of those two wins. I've heard a lot of people say a lot of different perspectives, and we're going to talk about them. Let me ask you, the last 2 weeks, one in different fashions, like I just pointed out, like 39 points, 500 total yards of offense against Cincinnati. Breece Hall popped off in the fourth quarter. He had a rushing touchdown, throwing touchdown to Mason Taylor in the back of the end zone. And that really looked like a week 1 version of Justin Fields, where he really leaned into his strengths. He was getting the ball out, trusting his reads, trusting his eyes. He scored 39 points.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is that the Bengals have the worst defense in football, and their defensive line can't stop a nosebleed. Their secondary's a mess, and Cam Taylor-Britt stinks, and this and that. And then what they did to the Bears the following week was all the proof that you needed that their defense truly is just a train wreck. And the Jets only really did that because of that defense. And then last week, we probably don't win that game if isn't for, and you still give you Chris Banjo and the Jets special teams. I almost said special coordinator. The Jets special teams a ton of credit. They were great. They deserve their flowers for their preparation, their game plan, and they're ready to go. But that's something that you can't bank off of on a weekly basis, Jake, is 2 kick return touchdowns, one going for 99 yards from Nwangu and one for 74 from Williams. Like, that's just not a consistent formula for winning. And if those two things don't happen, the Jets probably don't win that game because they got nothing going offensively outside from a couple big runs, a 42-yard screen pass from Breece Hall. So, is it more of a product of the teams that we faced or the Jets actually turning a corner?
I feel like the teams we played the past 2 weeks, they haven't been great. They've shown horrible. They haven't had a quarterback. None of those teams have a quarterback. Our defense was getting lucky these past 2 weeks. I really wanted to lose out, but, a win's a win. I'd be doing it for Nick Mangold, rest in peace. I miss him. And Ohio State legend, loved Ohio State too. Great guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, these past 2 victories for us, one was offense, and then the other one, the offense wasn't even there. It was just kick return, punt return. The special teams wins games. Defense wins games. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I just want to ask you, do you not, now with losing out, I just want to, off the cuff, and I want to get into the rest of the Browns game a little bit and talk about that big play from Breece. But just big picture, I understand that the vision for this team is the future, okay? Justin Fields has clearly shown, and I can't believe some of the shit that I see on social media. There are Bears fans And there are somehow people in this universe that still believe that Justin Fields can turn it around, given the right pieces and the right scheme and whatever. Like, I just don't know what they're seeing. He's shown it everywhere he's been. He's shown it in Chicago, obviously, who gave up on him and ended up going the draft route. And Caleb Williams, it seems like it's working out now. They're 6-3 or something like that.
Yeah, very good team.
And with Pittsburgh, they were 4-2 when they benched him, and he's shown it week in and week out. Pretty much aside from 2 games against Cincinnati and Pittsburgh, he's looked like a pile of poop for us. He can't read defenses. He's an extremely slow processor, and when pressure comes in, he caves in like a turtle every time. Instead of getting rid of the ball or trusting somebody downfield and maybe risk throwing a pick, I wouldn't mind if he had a few more interceptions. He'd rather just take the sack or make an ugly throw into the ground, and he's awful. We all know it. You don't have to be a film guru to realize that this guy just ain't it, and he's not the quarterback of the future. So with that being said, I'm with you. Like, I am not want to go back to the bridge route. I'm hearing discussions about potentially bringing in a better quality bridge quarterback instead of feels like a Mac Jones or a really
I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want that at all.
I wouldn't want that because I know 2027 draft class is a little bit more promising than a lot of the quarterbacks out of this 2026 class. But with that being said, I don't want to wait. And I feel like there is an abundance of options out of this class, and the Jets brass, the bigwigs, the front office guys, Darren Muji, and all the scouts and the evaluators, they need to identify a quarterback in this draft
100%.
and pick them to be the future, to be the franchise, to be that piece that has eluded the New York Jets franchise, not only in our existence, but pretty much anybody that's below the age of 50 years old existence. A franchise quarterback.
100%.
It's laughable, but it's true. Like, that's what needs to happen, and that will define the legacy of Darren Muji and Aaron Glenn in their Jets tenure. It will define the fact if they were just another run-of-the-mill 2 guys that come in here and promise a change of culture and to turn the tide and turn the ship, or another 2 guys who came in here and just delivered empty promises to us and missed on the quarterback. That's it. Like, that's totally what it comes down to. With that being said, there are a lot of guys on this current roster, Jake, that are part of the long-term solution. That Darren Muji intentionally didn't move at the trade deadline because he thinks that they can be part of the fixture. Jermaine Johnson, Will McDonald, those 2 guys. And then obviously the offensive line is really the center of what we're trying to do. They are the most promising part of this team, especially for a young quarterback coming in here. Winning is important. So for the messaging for the first-year coach of Aaron Glenn to actually go through these years and for them to buy into what he's saying going into next season, you need results. These players are preparing and they're walking into the building every week to try and win football games. So I understand from a fan's perspective, like, yes, lose out so we can go get Fernando Mendoza because he's probably the best guy that there is. But we've compiled all these assets, Jake. We have 5 first-round picks in the next 2 years. And we have a bunch of guys on this roster and a first-year coach that want to see some results, that are preparing on a weekly basis to win games. So wouldn't you rather, instead of losing out to get the first pick, maybe win some games down the stretch here, go 5-5, and ultimately in the last 10. So what do we have? Right now we have how many games left?
So we go 7-10.
Yeah, so we go 7-10, go 5-5 the last few here. Wouldn't you rather have that and to have some belief in this locker room going into the next season and sacrifice one of those first-round picks to move up and get a Mendoza or Dante Moore, or, I don't know about him, or whoever you like, then just roll over the season? Because if Aaron Glenn goes 0-17, right, say we lose both those games, and Breece Hall, who's already heartbroken, and we don't know if he's part of the future, but Breece Hall, already a guy who's been crushed by the fact that we traded 2 out of the 3 best players, calling them his brothers on Twitter,
Hmm.
Will McDonald, Jermaine Johnson, who worked their asses off every week to try and produce on the football field and come up with wins. If the first year coach doesn't have a win to show for it and they're not getting anything and they're walking into that locker room with their head down every week, is that good going into the next season? Or would you rather just sacrifice a little bit of the compensation that we just hauled in? Like, that's why I want to win.
I guess you got a point. And I've been hearing on like Twitter and Bleacher Report that the Jets may be interested in like Joe Burrow or like
Yeah, I
Trevor
heard Evan
Lawrence
Roberts say
or
that
Kyler
too.
Murray. Like I would be happy if we get one of them, but I don't want to trade all five of our first round draft picks for that. Like I'd rather get like a quarterback in the draft where like you don't have to pay him. He's on a rookie contract for the next 4 to 5 years. You don't have to pay him. But there's also some good quarterbacks later in the draft. Like there's Carson Beck that could fall. There's Ty Simpson that could go to like pick 10, pick 9. Sellers, he could be available. But Fernando Mendoza, he's like the freaking jackpot right now. He's like the king of the hill. He's right. He's the best quarterback prospect in a while, and I would love him. But if we win games, I'm happy. We could get Simpson, we could get Dante Moore, Sellers, you name it. Plus, we have another first round pick. We can get a receiver to pair with Garrett Wilson, which I just got a notification, Matt. He just landed on the injured reserve. So we won't have him for the next 4 weeks, which sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, you make a lot of valid points there, and I'm with you on the veteran quarterbacks. We just got 5 first rounders in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
I am not looking to dish that out on Joe Burrow and have to pay him next year, and he's injury prone, and there's questions about if he could say, like, that's not what we're looking to do. We're looking to draft and develop our own guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is a full-blown rebuild here. You trade 2 out of your best 3 players. We don't have the quarterback. You need to go find the quarterback in the draft. Darren Muji needs to identify the guy that he believes is ready to take over this team and be competitive. And on top of that, there's just the options out there that you have to give up. For Burrow, for example, a guy like Kyler, obviously the draft compensation in terms of what you're giving up goes down because Kyler Murray's not that good. But for Burrow, it would probably take
all
like
5, or at
all
least
5
3 out of the
of the
5.
3. Yeah. And he can't stay on the field.
Yeah.
2 out of the past 3 years, he doesn't even start half their games for them.
But
Jake
it would
Browning
be
plays.
easier on the Jets because the Jets at least have an offensive line under other than the Bengals. They have no fucking O line. They got nothing to protect them. It's like what's those people that freaking let the bulls go through the flags? It's like it's like, yeah, here you go, come on in, bull. Sorry, that's exactly what they do.
Yeah. You've been using that reference forever. I don't know who those people are, but that's a good gig. I would like to try that for a day. But yeah, no, it's an interesting conversation. And you mentioned Mendoza too. And it's unfortunate because I hope Jet fans are aware. I don't know how the rest of the season plays out. I don't think, obviously, our chances of winning tonight are slim to none, and we'll preview that game in a little bit for you. With everything going on with New England, they look great. But I just don't know, even at 2 wins right now, so we've leapfrogged the Saints and the Titans, and then we're tied with the Browns. Those teams are so freaking bad. I don't see them winning a lot of games left on their schedule. We still have some winnable games on our schedule. Dolphins at home, Falcons at home, Saints on the road. So we're at least going to end up probably, like, I want to finish the season as strong as possible. But say we don't finish the season strong and we only get 1 more win. I think with these back-to-back wins, like, we're pretty much out of the running for the first pick at this point, which stinks in some regard. So say goodbye to just being able to pick Mendoza right off the board. They're going to have to give something up. But man, like right now, I haven't really watched all these guys that extensively. I'm not like a avid college football guy, but Mendoza, he didn't have the greatest game last week. It was sort of up and down there, but then, man, I don't know if you saw it, but that final drive of the game, he led them right down the field. He looked so good. It feels like he would be the number 1 prospect in this draft, and he's big too. Something I like Dante Moore, a lot of these other guys. Here's one thing I don't want. I've seen it. We've seen Zach Wilson, who's a little bit undersized. And Bryce Young in Carolina is like a freaking pipsy squeak back there. I don't care what the Panthers' record is. He's fraudulent. We need, and tell me if you agree, we need a quarterback with a big stature. Like, give me a Mendoza sort of frame. I wouldn't want anything else.
Oh yeah, Mendoza, he's perfect. The pocket passer, he could run too. He's like a dream, you know. He's great.
Yeah, some Josh Allen in there, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always what you're looking for. So let's talk a little bit more about this Browns win that we had. I obviously mentioned some of those names that I mentioned that are building blocks, part of the future, part of the turnaround. And those are our edge rushers, man. 6 sacks last week,
Five
four
from
from
Will McDonald, baby. Five from Will.
four from Will
Four.
McDonald. Jermaine had a big one down there. Will McDonald, fun stat from Rich Cimini. All 4 of his sacks were on third and fourth down. And I forget Yeah, yeah. It was only 4 sack game in franchise history for him, which was sort of incredible. And he had the most crunch down sacks in a game in the past 16 NFL seasons. So and Myles Garrett had 5 sacks the other week against the Patriots, but Will McDonald just put up 4, all of them on third and fourth down. They were all huge. When we scored the touchdown, looked like the Browns had a little momentum there going for them. They were moving the ball. They went for it at midfield, fourth down. McDonald, blindside, huge sack right there. He was amazing. Jake, I don't know how you feel about. I know you're obviously, I don't know if me and Tom talked about it the other day, and we were so excited about all the compensation that we got for Sauce and Quinnen Williams. Do you believe, it's a 2-part question. A, were you in favor of those trades and the compensation we got? And B, would you have liked to taken it a step further and went complete fire sale mode and traded Brees, even though the only thing we got offered for him was a 4th rounder?
No, I would. I'll answer the second part first. I wouldn't have traded Brees Hall. I think we should really re-sign him. Like you're not gonna find a running back like that. Like he's amazing. I love him. He's a great guy. Probably gonna get his jersey next. Sauce is gone.
Well, I wouldn't be getting that until they tag him or extend him because there's a really
Yeah,
good
yeah.
chance. Yeah, yeah. Oh, go ahead, continue.
And then the Sauce and Quinnen. Sauce, he's worth like 1 first-round pick. But we got 2 for him. You got to do that deal. You got to do that deal. Plus, we get a receiver that has control still for another, I think, 1 more year after this year. So he's still going to be on the team. And then Quinnen Williams, we get a 2nd and a 1st for him. And he's not even having a great year this year. He's having a down year. He had a really good game, the game I went to against the Steelers. A really good game. I think he had to sack the first play of the game on Aaron Rodgers. Like, the stadium was bumping after that. And then, like, he hasn't really, like, you haven't heard, like, oh, Quinnen Williams there with the sack. Like, you haven't heard that many this year. So getting a 2nd, a 1st, and a depth defensive tackle is great. I love that draft. But we probably should have traded, like, either one or the other, or Jermaine or Will McDonald, try to get, like, a 2nd, maybe a 1st, because, like, edge rushers are rare. Trade them to, like, the 49ers who are battling with injuries, trying to make the playoffs. They need edge help since Nick Bosa's out for the year. But I'm happy about the deadline. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, yeah. I think I honestly I really couldn't be happier, to be honest with you. And I was a big Sauce guy. I really thought Quinnen's production the last few years, I don't really know what the numbers say, this or that, especially this year.
Yeah.
Like, we saw it in the Browns game. Oh, I think their yards per carry, the Browns, was a little bit higher than we've given up in the past few weeks. It was around 5 yards per carry. So maybe missed him a little bit. But he had 1 sack this year, wasn't generating a ton of pressure on the quarterback. I know we're one of the best run-stuffing teams in the league, but a lot of that has had to do with Juwan Briggs and Harrison Phillips as well. A 1st and a 2nd for Quinnen is an absolute dream. And,
It's a
if
steal.
you want to
It's a
go...
steal.
Yeah, and I'm a big Q guy. I really am. If you want to hear me wax poetic about that, then go watch the last episode with Tom Fitzpatrick. We talked about what he was as a Jet and the fact that he might end up in the Ring of Honor one day. He was here since 2018. Mike McCagnon drafted him. That's how long ago that was before you were a Jet fan, Jake, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, he's been here a long time, and he was great. But that was a steal. And then parting ways with Sauce. I was thrilled when we locked up Sauce and Garrett on the long term this year. Like I said, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but the compensation you got in return, these were deals that you simply couldn't deny. They were just too
couldn't
good.
deny it.
They were too good to be turned down. 2 first rounders for Sauce Gardner. Like you just said, Jake, his value is probably a 1 and maybe like a 5th or a 6th. 2 1s and a wide receiver that a lot of Jet fans, including myself, are very high on in A.D. Mitchell, who has a big build, athletic body, can go up and high point a ball. Just wasn't the right situation out there in Indianapolis with Anthony Richardson throwing to him. And then everybody, recency bias, everybody thinks about him this year with the fumble at the 1 yard line like
Malachi Corey.
Just like Malachi Corley, who also, he gashed us a couple times on jet sweeps with Cleveland. So, look at these guys succeeding in other ventures. So, yeah, it was just a win. We won the trade. There's no doubt about it. You could look at any rankings. I think ESPN say we had an A grade on the trade. It just was. And it's emotional loss. And, you give up 2 of your 3 best players. And I actually think in this Patriots game especially, the loss of these 2 guys is probably going to rear its head a little bit more than against Dylan Gabriel, just because of how good Drake May has looked and how nice that deep ball looks from him and everything, and his mobility as well to elude the pocket. He's very fast. So that'll probably show a little bit more today, but still, they did the right thing. Anyway, I totally just sidetrack, not getting to my note. I think that Darren Mushi did a great job of stopping right there because I love Jermaine. I love Will. I think that they are too young and we wouldn't have got quite the return because they don't have the track record and the provenness and the Pro Bowls and the All Pros that Quinnen and Sauce augmented their value. Will and Jermaine don't have that. We would be selling low on those guys. We know they're uber talented. They're some of the best pass rushing edge rushers in football. They showed it to you last week. Will McDonald's up to 8 sacks so far in the season.
And he had I think he had 12 or 11 last year too. So he's been great, man.
Yeah, he has. You're right. He definitely was double digits last year. So these are 2 guys that are part of the solution, and you wouldn't have got, sure, I'll give up Jermaine Johnson if we get a first-round pick in return and something else, but that wouldn't have happened. We probably would have gotten a 3rd, and his value is just way higher than that, and he's young, and he wants to be here, too. Even Brees, who we didn't trade, doesn't want to be here. Okay, big deal. You're playing. You're still here. But Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald, they want to be here. They still have the drive to turn it around here. We wouldn't have gotten a great return on them. Why not keep them around here? And if you trade them, then you're really starting from ground zero, and you're trying to plug in all these draft pieces to replace their production. So forget that. I thought Darren had an A+ trade deadline.
I feel like he should have made one more move because now he's just rotting on the bench because they benched him. They should have traded Quincy Williams because now he's a bench guy. He said that he's not starting no more. They're just going to rot him on the bench. They should have just maybe get a 5th or a 6th for him, instead of rotting him on the bench. Get a draft pick for him, but it's whatever.
Yeah, interestingly on that, he was benched last week. I guess he wasn't out there the first series, and he had a conversation with Glenn, and Glenn said, you're just simply not playing well enough or whatever. But he had a great game, and he played, I think, 75% of the defensive snaps. So it was more of like Barzell with the Islanders the other night for this alarm clock. He got benched, quote unquote, but he pretty much played throughout the game, and he was great. He was flying around. He had big tackles all day long. It was probably his best game of the season. He looked like the Quincy Williams from 2 or 3 years ago, where he was just amazing and one of the best all-pro linebackers in the league.
Yeah.
So great game from him. Great game all around. And the offense was horrible. Justin Fields just put up another huge stinker.
64 yards, I think, right?
54 yards.
54. I was off by 10.
You were off by 10. Yeah, well, I think we were both off by about 40-something because 42 of those yards came on a screen pass that either me or you could have completed. Brees Hall housed it. That really put the game away. We were tied. It was the second play of the fourth quarter. We were knotted up at 17, I think, at that point in time. It was a zero blitz. The Browns sent all the pressure coming right at Fields. Fields was swarmed in the pocket instantly. Short screen past the Hall. He got a pivotal block from the right guard, Joe Tippmann. And that block from Tippmann, you could hear Breece Hall in the interview. He said, if the right guard's able to land this block, I'm going to go all the way with it. And he did 42 yards from Breece, the go-ahead touchdown. That pretty much, we went up 24-17 at that point. Then got a field goal on the ensuing drive, 4th down stop from us. Another big run from Breece, sets up a 37-yard field goal for Nick Folk. Cleveland then got a field goal, made it 27-20. Exchange a few more times, and then the two plays, Jake, to end the game. Obviously hysterical. Yeah, 3rd and 16.
Membu's dance made me laugh. So funny.
I know, yeah. I hit him with a little bit of this. Yeah, that was hilarious. And what a great game. Can we talk about the game? And they played great against Cincinnati, too. Jake, I'll tell you one thing. The future pieces that we've been talking about on defense. But how about the offensive line, is particularly our 2 tackles in Olu Fashanu and Will McDonald, who have just been, 444, okay, I'm good, who have just been bookends out there. They've been amazing. 37 pass blocking snaps against the Bengals, 0 pressures allowed. They were phenomenal. Myles Garrett, like I mentioned earlier, he had 5 sacks against the Patriots. I think he only had 2 pressures and 1 sack. He beat Fashanu once in this game. Talk about how great these guys have been. Joe Tippmann pulling that block and how they fit into the future.
Ulu still's got 4 more years. Membu still got 5 more years. Our O-line is set, man. But we do have to pay Vera Tucker.
I don't know if we do pay him. It should be interesting.
Let him walk. Like, realistically, let Vera Tucker walk. And then John Simpson, too. He's a free agent after this year. I don't know what to do with him. But maybe get 2 guards at the second rounders that we have. Who knows?
Yeah, it's but these 2 guys are delivering at the highest level. Membu, I heard Connor Rogers say this, SNY, great work with SNY. He's got a great Jet subscription podcast, Badlands, where I get a lot of my thoughts from as well, to be honest with you. And he said that Membu is playing at a first-team All-Pro level. And the guy, he's 21 or 22 years old, and he's playing at that premier of a level, at premier position as well. And he just looks like a franchise cornerstone. I knew he was going to be good. Like, Fashanu was very solid for us in his first year at left tackle. Really good player, had some growing pains. There have virtually been 0 growing pains with Armand Membu.
Yeah,
pass blocking and run blocking alike. He put on a clinic against T.J. Watt in week 1. T.J. Watt.
That's what I was just about to say. Like, he held T.J. Watt to nothing. It's like T.J. Watt was
his first game in the NFL.
Yeah. That was his first game in the NFL. He made T.J. Watt look like a 90-year-old man trying to get to Justin Fields. Like, it's ridiculous how good he is.
Yeah, it really is. So fun to watch those guys. Hopefully, with this New England great run defense, they can create some holes for Breece to hit hard and us to move the ball down the field a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, we're able to run out the clock. Brutal penalties from Cleveland. 3rd and 16. Fields had nowhere to go with it. I think it was a hold downfield on Rucker. It had nothing to do with the play. And then the neutral zone infraction, as we documented, Armand with a hysterical celebration to ice the game. And yeah, nice Jet win there. Let's get a little bit into this Patriots preview. Off the top, Jake, I'm just going to ask you, the Patriots are scorching hot. They're 8-2 right now. They've already won. Talk about how fast things can change in the NFL, Jake. And here's reason to be optimistic as a Jets fan, that New England has already won as many games through Week 10 as they won the previous 2 seasons combined. That's ridiculous. So they're setting their sights really high right now. Drake May, if you're a Jet fan your whole life like me, and you got to watch Tom Brady dominate us and the Patriots beat us 15 consecutive effing times prior to the last 3 matchups, then you're like, oh my gosh, here we go again. They found their franchise quarterback. Drake May is in MVP contention in the early going. It's probably either him or Stafford right now, to be honest with you. Do you think that we have a chance to compete in this game at all?
It's just a matter if the defense stops the run, stops the pass. Like losing Sauce and Quinnen, it's going to be hard to do that, but it all depends on how hard they want to play this game. If they want to work their ass off and win this game, I bet they could. But realistically, I don't know if they could. I really don't believe in them right now. I wish I could, but beating two shitty teams is like, obviously you're gonna win. We may even beat the Saints. That's probably gonna be our last win. Because the Saints are dog crap, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, who knows? It's man, it's tough. I think the spread is sits at 12.5 right now.
That's like two
That
touchdowns right there.
what?
That's like two touchdowns.
Yeah, it's a 2 touchdown spread. It's a place where the Jets, in real games, like real important games, logistically, the Jets have had an extremely tough time playing up there. I mean, really against all our divisional opponents, particularly on the road, just like the other team in New York, the Giants. Like, we just get bamboozled on the road by divisional opponents year in and year out. I always take a little bit of solace in the fact that we beat Bill Belichick in his final game as the Patriots head coach up there in Foxborough, even though that game was all but garbage. Like I don't even know who was quarterbacking for them. I think it was.
I'm trying to think too.
It was Bailey Zappi. Yeah, that's who it was, and he's horrible. So, but yeah, like that. I mean, that was not even a real game. It was snowing, and me and you actually almost went to that game, I think.
No, we didn't go to that game. We went to the one against Miami, I think, right?
No. We were away. I was saying me and you, or maybe it was me and my dad. I forget who it was. Well, me and whoever were thinking about driving up to New England to watch that game, the last game of the season.
Yeah, it was snowing. It was a good game.
It was a good game. Jets got the win. Defense was great. Bryce Huff was great. But that was then. This is now. Drake May's been methodical. 72% completion percentage. That might be best in the league. That's ridiculous.
In the NFL, having higher than like a 65% chance is amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And like I mentioned, just to wrap your head around the sheer dominance for New England against us. So we won 2 of the past 3. And we really should have won 3 of the past 3. Rodgers choked that game away in Foxborough last year. That was a ridiculous loss. Both the offense and the defense had a chance to close out that game and win it, and we couldn't get it done. So it should be 3 out of the last 3. It made me think back to that. I was 25-22. To me, Jake, it was the Broncos game early in the season was a turning point for us. After that, 2-1, should have won that game at home. Greg Zuerlein missed a field goal at the end. And then that game was like the icing on the cake. Even though it was only mid-October, we just endured a couple really tough losses. You go against an abysmal New England team that hadn't done anything since week 1 against the Bengals. You have to win that game on the road. They had a lead late in the fourth quarter, and they couldn't put them away. And Jacoby Brissett led a methodical drive down the field. And they beat us in that one. That was kind of the dagger to the heart of last year. Steelers game was bad too. But anyway, that's last year. The like you said, the completion percentage great. He's got a 19-5 touchdown to interception ratio as well. He's on pace for over 4,300 yards.
Wow.
And he's a gifted scrambler too. I know Justin Fields, just because, that's all Fields can do. He should really be a running back, has more rushing yards than him this season. But he's made a lot of plays with his legs. He can kind of get out of the pocket and just throw bombs deep downfield. His main thing, he's going to go over the top against the Jets a lot today. And, he'll probably utilize Hunter Henry and Stephon Diggs' ability to go underneath and get some yards after catch there. And don't be surprised with our banged up secondary. No A.Z. Thomas tonight. Obviously no Sauce Gardner, who's gone.
No Garrett Wilson tonight.
No Garrett Wilson on the offensive side of things. So he will not be afraid to throw that long ball at all. But also the Patriots are running the ball effectively as well. The rookie, Ramondre Stevenson's going to be out tonight, but the rookie Henderson, he was brilliant for them on offense last week. I think he had 2 huge house calls, 1 65-yard touchdown last week in a statement win against the Buccaneers, and 1 55-yard touchdown as well He's been unbelievable the last couple weeks. It took him a little bit to get going. A lot of people had picked him high in their fantasy leagues, expecting to get a lot of work, and got off to a slow start. But 2 huge house calls last week that kind of sealed the deal in a big win on the road for New England over Baker Mayfield and company.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they're running the ball while they're stopping the run. They have the best ranked run defense in the league, Jake. Nobody, not one team, Jake, not one running back in the NFL has gone for over 50 yards against them. And I think they're holding opponents to about 72 yards rushing a game. So let me ask you, like, the Jets are a service academy football team, right? They're like Army. The only effective way to move the ball down the field
He's
and have
running.
any form of offense is to run the football. Do you stick to that game plan that kind of worked in the second half against Cleveland, where you're just grounding and pounding the whole time? Or do you say, this is the best run defense in the NFL? We have the worst throwing quarterback in the NFL, but we have to at least try and make it work with him, or else we're going to get our doors blown off. Like, if you're Tanner Ingstead right now and you're formulating that game script and where you're going to go the first 25 plays of this game, do you try and throw them off a little bit and get the passing game moving a little bit? Try and find AD Mitchell on some quick hitches, or do you just like hand it to Brees and say, hope for the best?
I would start running the game, see how they do. Like if Brees gets like 6 yards, then like 4 yards, gets a first down, gets like another 5, and like the running game's like working a little bit. I would say just stick to the run, but if he gets stuffed like right away, I would think like you got to do some like trick plays, get them messed up on defense. Maybe some slant routes, some corner routes, some screens like they did with the Browns last week to get us a touchdown. Like, it all depends on how they stop the run early in the game. It depends on the rest of the game. You know what I mean?
I agree with you. I think the key to this game for the Jets, particularly on offense, because the Patriots' offense is so good, they're going to have to put up touchdowns. I mean, yeah, you take the points when you can get them for Nick Folk, who's been great this year. But if they want a chance today, they're going to have to put the ball in the end zone a little bit. And as horrible as a drop back passer, as we talked about ad nauseum, Justin Fields is, I mean, they're gonna have to trust him to do something here with Mechie and Mitchell. And the good news is that, Mitchell was a healthy scratch last week, but it typically doesn't really take receivers too long to get acclimated into a playbook. So if you can hit him on some quick hitches and you can maybe surprise him a little bit with the Patriots selling out on the run, they're loading up, they put 10 in the box, go play action and try and get him over the top a little bit, throw him a go ball. He's a big athletic base. He can kind of come down with those a little bit. I feel like Justin Fields has to at least try to make it work. It's some nice passes to Tyler Johnson in the Bengals game. Maybe get Johnson going. He did really nice, over-the-shoulder catch.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson's really good. I like him.
I like Ty. He's a nice third option, fourth option, especially in this really limited offense.
I love Mason Taylor. Mason Taylor's great.
Yes, they need to get him involved. I think you almost go like what the Giants playbook's been rolling with, maybe some 2 tight end formations, play action. Justin's not going to be able to pin his ears back and throw in cuts all over the field and look like Drake May. But throw them off their feet a little bit, get some play actions going. Their pass defense is not nearly as good as their run defense. They were ranked 21st in yards a game. Their passing D, not good, really. 26th in yards per play and 22nd in sack rate. So with our offensive line, they'll be able to protect Fields pretty well, most likely. We're not a bad pass blocking team. So look, the Jets must try and attempt to open it up a little bit, on top of using Justin Fields' legs as well. Brees is going to get his fair share of carries no matter what this game. We're probably looking at 18 to 23 carries for Brees, but I want to see 8 to 10 designed runs for Justin Fields, Jake. They need to use them.
Read options, get the playbook going, RPOs,
Yeah, get the playbook going a little bit. I think that's what they have to do. They have to use Fields as Fields is such a bad processor or drop back passer. His fields are a necessary attribute, and they have to use. He has to be not afraid to go off kilter and use it. Design runs are great. Let's look at for 8 to 10 of those a game. But when there's nowhere to go with the ball in your first and second read, instead of standing there like a sitting duck, ready to get pounced on national television for everybody to laugh at you, he needs to improvise a little bit and use his legs off the cuff. Get going. Run outside the numbers a little bit, use the perimeter, go north to south, go east to west, like just show off. And he did this against the Patriots with Chicago on Monday Night Football a few years ago. Probably his best game maybe of his career, certainly his best game on national television. The Bears dominated New England on Monday Night Football, and he used his legs big time. He had over 60 yards rushing in that game.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to need a lot of things to go our way. I honestly, Jay, one more thing, talk about the defense a little bit. Defense has been so up and down this season. The pass rush was great last week. The run defense was so-so, but they need to do something that they haven't done all season long, and that's get an interception. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think that this streak has to come to an end eventually, Jake? You know, Drake May's cool as a cucumber. Don't get me wrong; he's a great quarterback, but he's taken 35 sacks over his past full season of games, 17 games, and he's been a little vulnerable to the interception. He's thrown a lot of touchdown passes, but I'm trying to see here. I can't find it exactly, but he's going to throw you a couple. Like, the Jets are going to have probably a couple opportunities to intercept the ball, and I think they have to do it if they want to win.
Yeah, 100%. Turnovers, they're huge. You got to get turnovers to win games most of the time. That or defensive stops. The Jets are always ranked the bottom of the teams in turnovers every year. They usually get like fumbles, like maybe 1 or 2 interceptions a year. That's not good. Like, the good teams get like 10 to 15 interceptions a year, usually around there. Like, the Jets barely ranked there ever.
Yeah,
When they had good defenses, they were just defensive stoppers. They weren't pick artists. They weren't forced a turnover team. They were just defensive stops with sacks. That's all they were when they were great on defense.
Yeah, the New York Jets are on the verge of really getting themselves into some really bad company. The last team to be in their predicament right now with the interception column was the 2017 Raiders, who didn't get a pick through 10 games, and we're going on game number 10 right now. They're getting there, and this is a quarterback that, like I said, is an MVP candidate, but at the same time, he's a guy who might throw you a couple. And even though our secondary is banged up, you need a couple you need some weird and wonky things to happen, you know? I don't envision, we have a special teams advantage. We're officially like the number 1 ranking team in special teams across the board this year. So that's great. So maybe you get a special teams play that tips your way, or just get on a fumble or something. Some weird and wonky things have to happen. Return a pick for a touch. Maybe your first interception in the year comes in the form of a pick six. Like, great.
Yeah, that would
Something like that needs to happen if the Jets want to come out on the winning side. There's no way that they beat New England pound for pound tonight. So we will see what happens. Looking forward to it. It's the Jets didn't get a lot of primetime opportunities this year.
Do you have a score prediction for tonight?
We played Monday night against the Dolphins. Lost that one. I don't know if it's prime time to play Sunday morning at 9:30. Feels like shit time to me. Where we had a really embarrassing loss to Denver. And now, this is it. So after this game, it's just a regular 1 o'clock. Your local networks and whatever. And as far as score prediction goes, I picked against the Jets, against the Browns. Which, which actually is because I consider myself a pretty positive fan. Like, I usually like to think that we're going to do good things, even though that rarely happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, you probably have to be, in a psych ward or out of your right mind to somehow pick the Jets to win this game. I think most Jet fans would take it as no moral victories, as Aaron Glenn stood up on the podium and said after Week 1's defeat. No moral victories. But I think most Jet fans kind of see this as a win in some form if they stay competitive. If they have a chance to win the game in the fourth quarter, if we look up and it's a one-possession game and they're getting the ball back and they have a chance to tie the game in the fourth quarter, I think we'll all be satisfied with that performance as long as we don't get our absolute doors blown off like we're accustomed to seeing against divisional opponents on the road. I think most of us are happy with that. I'm going to say that happens. I think the Jets will hang in tough. And just to be fun, let's reverse the roles a little bit. We won against Cleveland. I say that we get the same score this week, just the Jets come out on the losing side of things. Give me 27-20 Pats. I say we cover the spread, hang in tough, one possession game, fourth quarter. Defense plays decent without AZ and with a depleted 11 up and down. So, yeah, that's my score prediction. Where do you see this one going?
I see it being like 24-10 Patriots. Like, if we get a touchdown, it's probably going to be another one of those special team touchdowns. I don't see our offense thriving at all today. I don't know. Short week, Even on a long week, they're not prepared to win a football game. How do you expect them to be prepared to win a football game with 3 days of practice? I have no hope in them this week. And 24-10 is my prediction.
Yeah, I hear you, man. The Giants, one thing about the Giants, we're talking Jets here today. Offensively, and they found, and this is why their coach got fired after a cloudy Sunday in Chicago last week.
Mm-hmm.
They seem to find a way. Their games, first possession pretty much of every game, they come out, they march right down the field, and they put the ball in the end zone. Mm-hmm. And Jackson Dart, with a very, very, very limited receiving corps, looks really good, and the offense is ready to play. They're prepared. Mm-hmm. I really like Tanner Ringstad. I really hope that he's our offensive coordinator of the future. I think he's done a lot of things well, especially compared to what we saw last, Nathaniel freaking Hackett, okay? Nathaniel Hackett, that's all I need to say. I don't really need to elaborate on that and how awful he was.
Oh, yeah.
So, I like him, but the Jets never seem ready to come out and play. No. I think back to all the games this year, maybe Tampa, where they sputtered and did nothing the entire second and third quarters. I think they looked good that first drive. But the Jets pretty much never come out and look ready to play. And if they want any remote chance of winning today, Jake, they have to get out in front early. If they're playing from behind early and they're forced into really obvious passing situations, and they're still running it on, passing, it's just that's where I feel like get out of hand early and really get ugly in this one. So if they do force a turnover, you don't want it to come when they're already down 3 scores late in the game. You want it to come early, be a momentum swinger in one of these first possessions. So that's what I'm looking out for. Surprise them, get them on their toes a little bit with the passing game early.
Yeah.
Use Brees in the passing game too.
Brees, yeah, exactly.
Brees only had 6 carries in the first half last week. So, yeah, feed Brees. Let him do his thing. Let the big boys up front create holes from him. Let him use his misdirection and do what he's got to do. But get those screens going early, too. Don't be afraid to dump the ball off to him and let him do his thing. So that's really what you want to see. I'm very fascinated to see how they operate on a short week here. Glenn said it's going to be a dog fight. He's been wrong on a lot of things.
In my opinion, it's going to be like a dog versus cat. It's going to be a blowout. Because 4 days rest, I don't know if I could trust Justin Fields off of 4 days rest. They may, if he's playing like crap, they may have to put in. Is Tyrod Taylor active? I don't even know. Is he active?
Oh my gosh.
If he's active, I kind of want to see him in. I think we have a better chance of winning football games with Tyrod Taylor behind center than Justin Fields right now. Because at least Tyrod Taylor's not afraid to sling the ball. He gets the ball out quick. He's not a loser like Justin Fields. He's just a straight loser.
Yeah, Justin Fields is a loser on the football team. Hey, he's a man of faith and seems like a really nice guy, but he fucking stinks. So, that's what kind of...
He holds on to the ball like he's a Statue of Liberty holding on to the light. It's like, what the hell?
Yeah. No, it's a problem. And, Tyrod is the backup today.
That's good.
Garrett, like you said, unfortunate news there. From the Jets,
Injured reserve, yep.
injured reserve. I really wouldn't rush anything with him.
Hmm.
Excuse me. I need some water. Yeah, I wouldn't rush anything with him at this point of the year, obviously, with where we're at. But, man, I was so excited to see how this whole thing... It's fun. You know, I really try and, like, manufacture hope and belief in this team. Because
Yeah,
for me
me
to
too. I
say
try every week.
excited about the worst-ranked offense and passing attack in football really shows something. So I was kind of excited to see how the passing game could potentially improve with AD, Mechie, and a healthy Garrett. We're probably never going to get to see it at any point of the year because Mitchell was out last week, and now Garrett's sidelined for a few weeks. Is
And this year it's
re-aggravated the
going to be
same
probably
knee.
the first year that Garrett Wilson doesn't get 1,000 yards receiving this year.
Yep. Yeah. He had no first time of his career last week. 0 receptions the entire game.
Yeah, I saw that. I have him on my fantasy team, or like in one of my leagues because I'm in like 5, and yeah, it's 0. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, did he not play? And then I'm watching the highlights when I got home from work. I'm like, he's playing. They just don't throw him the damn football. It's like, what the heck?
Yeah, no, it's frustrating when you have a weapon like that and a guy that was leading the AFC in receiving yards when he was healthy in the beginning of the year, and
Hmm.
then the injury, and then finally getting back last year. Obviously, not ready fully to go. It was the same knee, so that stinks. But we're 2-7. This is where we're at.
Hmm.
You roll the dice and you see what happens tonight. All right, score predictions are in for us. We're going to get this pod up and out before the game, so hopefully you can listen to it. Jake, I just want to briefly talk about your new favorite basketball team, the New York Knicks.
Go New York, go New York, go baby.
So first we have to address the elephant in the room, because I haven't really spoken to you over the phone. We go back and forth on text, but I don't think I've spoken to you over the phone since August, since I got back here in Dayton. I haven't really gotten to ask you the big question. Have you made the transformation fully? Are you a fan of the orange and blue?
Yeah, man, I'm done with the Nets. The Nets
Wow.
are like 1-9 right now. I can't watch them. They're like unwatchable. It's like it's stupid to watch them now. It's like New York Knicks. They're gonna win. I like Mike Brown a lot. Their head coach. At least he plays his bench players. Unlike Thibs, I hated Thibs. He was a dickhead. He was stupid. I've always hated him. I can't believe Knicks fans were upset that they got rid of him. I was like doing jumping jacks, seeing him get fired. I was so happy, and I'm here for the long run, boys.
Wow, that is big news. If you don't know, if you're not familiar, we're talking lifelong, diehard Brooklyn Nets fan right here.
There it
You
is.
see
There
the
it is.
sign behind him right there. He's got a KD jersey. Did you buy every jersey from the big three? Did you have Harden, Durant, and
Yeah,
Kyrie?
yeah.
Oh my gosh, you're such a sucker. Wow.
I have
Yeah,
a Mike
so
Bridges jersey too, and now he's on the Knicks.
and Bridges, holy crap. So this was a guy that was clinging on for a long time, big time fan, no Nets fan that I should say knew. Rest in peace to Jets, to Nets, Jake. Hey, if you ever leave the Jets, I'm done with you. Rest in peace to Nets, Jake. That's big news right there. We'll probably get a little clip of that for the IG. And hey, man, and that's our shit show. Nobody really expected them to win many games this season, but man, it's been really discouraging what the
Hmm.
early returns have been. Blown out by Charlotte, lost to Toronto the other night. It's not looking good. Cam Thomas is having a strong season. I
But
wonder,
he's hurt, so it
now
doesn't
he's
really
hurt.
matter. Michael Porter Jr. is like the only Lord and Savior of this team, but he sucks anyway. It's like stupid to watch the net. Really stupid.
Yeah, the thing with him is like, somebody's got to be scoring the points on a bad team. Every bit, so it's probably less about him, Michael Porter Jr., and more about the fact that nobody else is really stepping up and able to score points on their roster. So
Hmm.
that's just like the way the cookie crumbles, and he's
Hmm.
racking up points. But hey, let's talk about the Knicks a little bit. Prior to last night, the home cooking was for real. had won 7 in a row on their home floor at the Garden. They were 7-3 coming into that. But Jake, the schedule had been a little bit soft. They were coming off blowout wins against
Yep.
Memphis, against your former Nets, and then a formidable opponent. We were talking about it before we hopped on the podcast. A lot of people are sleeping on the Magic this
The
year.
Magic may make the playoffs, man. Like I
They're
fully
definitely going to
believe-
make the
I
playoffs.
fully believe they'll make the playoffs with Pinchero, Franz Wagner, and Desmond Bain running the core three right there. That's a good core three. I think they can make the playoffs. I don't know, make a big push. Like I don't know about that. They're still a pretty young team. They need some veteran help for that. They'll definitely make the playoffs. Knicks too. They'll make the playoffs guaranteed. Well, I would hope to say guaranteed because I just got a notification too that Brunson has a grade 1 hamstring strain and he would be out next game. So that's kind of tragic news. And then like I believe we should go out and trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo. Like that dude, he's a monster. Give up OG, give up Cat. We got a deal. And 1 first-round pick, they'll do it because they're good role players to help this crappy Bucks team out. Even though they're doing pretty good, but they're crappy because other than Giannis. But yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of surreal to hear you say "we," referring to the Knicks. You're kind of a Knicks hater there for a while.
Yeah.
I'm very much welcome to the good side of town. And yeah, there's a bigger conversation to be had about trades and whatever. And Cat's virtually he's been really good. He had a really rough game out there in Milwaukee a couple weeks ago where he was forcing bad shots, and part of it was on his teammates not really distributing and allowing him to get quality looks near the basket, and part of it was on him complaining about fouls. Just really sloppy cat ball, turning the ball over, the flailing arms, the whole deal where it just looked really ugly for him. But since then, he's been putting up like Patrick Ewing type numbers. He's had double-doubles every single game. He's averaging around 12 rebounds over this 6 or 7 game stretch. I think he had another double-double last night in the losing out 24-107 against Orlando. So Cat's been playing much better of late. It's funny, I actually saw something earlier today what's your take on that? Do you think that Cat has done enough in his career right now to be, if he retired today, to be a Hall of Famer? I couldn't even believe that when I saw it. I mean, statistically, sure, he's one of the best big man shooting threes that we've ever seen in the game. Like he shoots for somebody of his size at one of the highest clips of all time. And he's a really good rebounder when there's no other bigs on the court. But he hasn't won enough, in my opinion. He's gotten into 1 conference final 2 years ago with Minnesota, 1 with the Knicks. If you don't have any championship hardware to show for it, or at least getting to a finals, that's not good enough, in my opinion. And he's never even been like Hall of Fame. I think I actually want to watch that just to see the flip side of it. Like how?
Yeah, I want to know what drugs that dude was on talking about that.
What?
I want to know what type of drugs this dude was on thinking that Cat is a
I'll
Hall of
send you it.
Famer.
It's on.
Well, I'll
really.
give Cat this. He's a very loyal player. Like he never requests trades. He loves his teams that he's on. It's just the Minnesota traded him. Like he didn't want to leave Minnesota. Minnesota just traded him. So it's like he's a loyal dude, but sometimes he's like shaky. He's not a Hall of Famer. He doesn't average 25 points per game. There's games where he gets 6 points, and then he's all bent out of shape, and then he's a backup for like basically the whole game. And then,
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was done.
Yeah. It's just like you said. I think all Knicks fans are kind of in lockstep with that. Like it's just the inconsistency, especially, and we're going to talk about this game last night, when the going gets tough and when teams are these physical, young, elite defensive teams. And sure, the Magic may not have one of the highest rated defenses in the NBA, but they were, if you watched that game last night, they were putting the Knicks on their backside. They were super physical. They were super tough. I watched all the pregame interviews, and all those players talked about was, hey, this is a team. They've been playing a lot of games at home recently. They've been playing some lackluster teams. Their second night of a back-to-back. We're going to come in here. and we're going to be fit. We're going to be physical. We're going to be tough. We're going to try and get them out of their sets and their rhythms. And they did a great job of doing that. And those are the type of teams that I worry about against, particularly Cat, the most. Like when they're pushing them around a little bit and they're not letting them get into their second actions and move the ball cross court and all the dribble handoffs and all those different things that are so crucial in the Mike Brown offense. When opposing teams could come out and disrupt that sort of Mike Brown ball movement, everybody touch the ball, everybody move around sort of rhythm, that's when teams are going to have success against the Knicks and really throw them off balance. And that's kind of what happened last night. And that's going to be something. And that was a measuring stick kind of game. And we only get to see so many of those over the course of the Knicks are going to have a lot more games this season where they play bad teams, where they play teams that are just not on their level skill-wise or talent-wise, teams that don't have that defensive tenacity. And the Knicks are going to roll over them. They're going to shoot the ball well. They're going to be able to get into their sets and do all the things that the Mike Brown offenses feature. But these kind of measuring stick games are the ones that you really have to keen your eyes on, because come April, come later in the season, those are the kind of teams that you're going to be seeing. Detroit's one of those teams. You go back to that first
red hot
last year.
Red hot.
With nobody last night, too. They had nobody healthy. Their best player on the court was Duncan Robinson, and they just blew out the Chicago Bulls, who are having a really nice surprise season. Josh Kiddey's been playing great. So, yeah, it's going to be really fascinating to see how it plays out. And we're going to talk about the Knicks extensively on this podcast over the course of the next few months. Really encourage, like the past few weeks, the 6-game win streak, everything that we've been doing at home, it's great to see. We're really able to see the full potential of this offense when they're in rhythm. And everybody touching the ball. The wing shooting the corner three really well. OG, Mikal Bridges has thrived. He's taking the ball up the court a little bit more often, and it's really benefited him to actually be able to dribble the ball a little bit more. Like, that is all awesome. But last night was kind of like a little bit of a reality check that against some of these more aggressive teams, how are they going to be able to execute what they normally can? So that's kind of where I'm at with the Knicks right now. The Magic, credit to them, not only for their defense, but they were making some really tough shots. I thought Franz Wagner was just off the charts.
Yeah,
10
he was
from the field,
28
points.
in the first half. He was destroying us in the first half. It was like every single point was from him. It was like ridiculous.
Especially to close out the half. He was working in the post, going over Cat in the post, really talented, like one-on-one with Cat in the post, like right at the elbow line, going right on top of him. He's a Nick killer. Desmond Bane, we talked about him before the show. Just a guy that was brought into this Orlando team to put them over. Orlando severely lacked three-point shooting going into this league. He's a top 10 three-point shooter statistically in the league. He was amazing yesterday. 3 of 6 from downtown. Struggled a little bit in the season in the early going. Maybe he turned the corner yesterday. 22 points. Jalen Suggs was good. Contributions off the bench. Their first rounder from a couple years ago out of Colorado. Tristan Da Silva was good. Jonathan Isaac's good. For whatever reason, what's his name? Goga Batadze. Every time that guy plays the Knicks, he looks phenomenal.
Yeah, he's like a nobody. And then I'm like, I've heard of this dude, and he's only good against New York teams. It's like ridiculous.
Yeah. He, for whatever reason, he shows up, and we saw this against the Magic last year. I think we split against them. They play the Knicks really tough. They know how to stun their offense, and they did a really good job of it last night. And we see them in not too long. I think later this month. So keep your eyes peeled for that matchup. Have your popcorn out, and we'll see how we go from here with that. No JB tomorrow night against the Heat. Heat's offense looks really good. They're kind of having a little bit of a surprise season. They had the insane buzzer beater, the Andrew Wiggins tip-in the other night against Chicago. So a tough test. Last night, the offense outside of Brunson was awful. I think Mikal at 6, Anunoby at 8. So let's see how these guys do. They're going to be forced to try and be a little bit more effective in isolation, one-on-one matchups. Let's see how, obviously Bridges can be so great when others are able to get him into those actions and they're able to push him in transition and the offense kind of works through him. He's great. He's great in those little middies. He can shoot the ball a little bit, move the ball in transition. But let's see him kind of, buck up a little bit in one-on-one situations for Michael. So that's something to keep an eye out as well tomorrow night to wrap up this homestand at Madison Square Garden before they go out on the road for 5 games. Jake, man, great talking Knicks with you, your new favorite NBA team. Great previewing this Jets game. It's been a long episode. I didn't anticipate it going on this long. We do have to wrap up at this point in time. Hopefully, some of you are listening to this ahead of the Thursday night matchup with the New England Patriots. Enjoy the game. Let's go get an upset. Let's
go Jets.
Jets. Jake, thank you so much, my guy.
Anytime, man.
All right, that will conclude this edition of the New York Sports Take. Thanks so much for listening. We'll talk to you next week.